Yo, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life, part of the Believe Network. I am Ramsey Abushala, editor of UrbanPitch.com, the co-executive directors of Vibes in the building. Julio Monterosa and Bridget Flores is back.
I'm back.
After a 2-week hiatus. Bridget, how you been?
I'm doing good. Coming back from spending time with family, exploring Mexico City. I almost stayed out there. I wasn't going to come back because I had the time of my life. It's so beautiful out there. There's so much to see. So I highly recommend, if you haven't gone to Mexico City, check it out. I'll send you my itinerary. Everybody was asking me for it.
We saw the close friend stories.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We saw those.
Sometimes you have to keep the boundaries between those.
The church of, was it the church
oh
of the
my God,
Federal?
yeah. That was wild.
Yeah.
That's a story for another time because we got someone special on the podcast
That's a
today.
Patreon episode.
Yeah, we got that one. If you're subscribed, you'll hear more about it.
No, but we have a very special guest in the building. We had a couple Zoom guests the last few weeks, so it's good to have somebody in person. Yes. We're very excited. We've been trying to make this work for a few months now, but NWSL superstar, currently free agent, but most recently started
Hopefully we bring her back.
Yeah, for Angel City FC. Sarah Gorden in the building. Sarah, it's so good to have you on.
Thank you guys for having me. It's great to be here.
We usually have a soundboard, so we're just gonna burr, give you some vibes.
Actually, Jeremy Rist said that he could bring us in his soundboard because he's a DJ. So
There we go.
Yeah.
We're moving on up.
We're moving up. 2024, things are starting to look a little different around here. But
we're ending on a good note.
Yes.
We're ending on a good note having you here, Sarah.
This is our last episode of the year.
Yeah.
So shouts to us and shouts to closing the year on a high note.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, but we should probably let the guests do some talking because
for sure.
Sarah, I know I mentioned you're free agent. We don't have to get into the whole free agency X's and O's and all that stuff. Right. But I just wanted to touch on free agency coming to that NWSL because it's a newer thing. I think last year was the first year, and we're starting to see some big signings. What's it like for the league to embrace free agency now?
Well, honestly, it's been an amazing experience, and I'm so grateful that we have it now. I came in the league in 2016, and how far we've come, it's crazy because as a free agent, the power is totally in your hands. You can, fight for your money, go wherever you want to go, and that's not the case when I was a rookie in 2016. Mm-hmm. You were kind of just stuck at the club that drafted you or picked you up. So it's been an amazing experience. Can't say anything, obviously.
Right. Yeah,
but I'm just grateful that we got to this point because, every woman in the league deserves to pick where they want to be and deserves to get paid like a professional athlete. And it's not NBA money, but it's so much better than it used to be.
It's slow progress is better than no progress.
Exactly.
There it is.
Yeah, and you're coming off of fantastic season. Iron Woman for the second time in your career, playing every minute. That's incredible. But in its own right, but coming off of an ACL injury the season before, what went into your preparation for this year, and how were you able to accomplish that for the second time?
Last year, obviously getting to LA, tearing my ACL so early was such a disappointment. And so I feel like going into recovery, at first I was a little bit depressed and just I don't want to go through this. But then I felt like I just focused in and kind of just thought about what I wanted to bring to the season when I'm actually going to be playing. And so I feel like it recentered me in so many ways. And I hate to be one of those cliche people, but it's I needed it. I needed it in my life. Things had just been going a million miles per hour. I needed to, come back, rebalance mentally, physically, all of those things. And I feel we had a hell of a year, personally and as a team. And there are so many things that went into my success, our team's success. But mostly, at the end of the season, I was just proud to play with the group, and I felt like I was able to find myself again on the field because of our staff and because of the group around me, and of course because of personal sacrifice and my family's sacrifice and all of those things.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. All the major sports are in action this week with the college football playoffs ready to kick off. Bet Online is your #1 destination for all your sports wagering info, including news for pro football, the NBA, upcoming fights, and NHL games this season. Head to the website today to get into the action and see all the updated odds for the week. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts.
Yeah. What was it like for you for the first few games coming back, like like you've done the work to recover, you're ready to step onto the pitch. What were those first few games like for you? Like, what did you notice was different about how you went onto the pitch?
Well, honestly, when we started preseason, because I was out for like the full year, right? Like, I get to start fresh again the next preseason, which was great. The timing ended up being great. But when we started preseason, I did not feel like myself. Like, I was not confident. I mean, obviously, you're coming off a long injury. And then our first home game was against Club America, and I was so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not used to playing in front of that many fans. I was kind of freaking out a little bit. But I still felt like I was missing something. And then our home opener against Gotham, we ended up losing, but it was the first game where I felt like myself, 100%. But there were so many, like, for me, it's like, there's so many like feelings going on and nerves and this and that, but I don't always take time to enjoy it. I'm like, okay, next goal, on to the next thing. And so I feel like that's how most of my season was. It was like, okay, cool, I'm myself again, now on to this next thing I want to do on the field or want to accomplish. So I felt like I didn't always sit back and feel, like, oh, I'm proud that I'm back or I'm proud of this or anything like that, because I'm like, okay, on to the next thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I think
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think your journey to going from having, the unfortunate ACL injury to recovering and then going onto the pitch and then having such a successful year this year is just like the kind of story and journey like everyone would want to have when they go through something like that. What kept you motivated in those times or moments where you were just maybe kind of scared of having that feeling back, or like feeling like your recovery wasn't what you needed to keep going in the season?
I think that I made like a personal decision at the beginning of January, right before last preseason, that I was going to give it every single thing I had, like mentally and physically. And I feel like a lot of times as athletes and people, we say that, like, I want this, I want that, or we have this feeling like, I know my ceiling is really high, like I know I could do this, but I'm not doing this. And so I just kind of like sat down and looked at all the things in my life that were holding me back, whether that was like drinking randomly on the weekends. I mean, as an athlete, you don't get to drink a lot, but like that. And, or if it was, not always sticking to my morning routine. I literally looked at everything and was like, I'm 30 years old. Like, I'm going to give it absolutely everything. And I committed to it. And I feel like there were times like at the beginning of preseason where I was like, why am I doing this? Like, this isn't working. I'm not playing well. And times throughout the season where I felt the same thing. And I literally was like, I'm committing to this. It doesn't matter. It's like, just like making that choice. And then no matter what the result was in the short term, I already made the choice that I'm committing to it. And then I felt like by the end of the season, I felt like a whole new player, like different than I was before my ACL, like better in so many ways.
Yeah. Dang. You're speaking facts. I feel like for anything in life, like that's how it should be. Make a commitment, stick to it, and just take it one step at a time. And eventually the results are going to come within that.
Right.
Yeah, Julio. I mean, we gotta
get it together, Julio. Get it together, Julio.
I'm gonna commit for the last week of the year. I'll be back to first.
Yeah. But it being a contract year, did that motivate you a little bit more too to prove that that you see like your worth
You're
and
that
your
player.
value?
I honestly thought about it at times, like, oh, I'm going to be a free agent, but it was never that really like a motivator when it came down to the grind and this and that. Like, it's always been like chasing this vision of the player I could be is really what it is. And like this, I mean, the support of teammates and staff and stuff like that. But no, like I didn't, because when I put too much pressure on myself with things like that, like getting a call up to the national team or like, when I put too much pressure on myself, I'm not free. I'm not fun on the field. I'm just like,
yeah, you feel that pressure on yourself, and you feel it within everything you do.
Yes, I got to play free.
Yeah, that makes sense. But when you're focused on yourself, your health, your growth, then maybe that kind of like, it feels like pressure, but it's like not pressure to where you have to show others. It's more about yourself and what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, there's only so many things you can control. I can control, my discipline and what I'm doing and the choices I'm making, but I can't control, the contract that a team gives me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's. I think when you talk about it that way, like the love of the game and the game coming first, then I feel like that will lend itself to a more successful thing rather than chasing the contract and
Right.
doing all that, because you see a lot of, like, especially in other sports, people sign like big deals or big contracts and all of a sudden they start maybe underperforming, or, you know, and I mean, obviously there's more than that, just that, but, and then once they get to the last year of their contract, all of a sudden, you know, they're back and they're focused and they're sharp. So I think coming from it from like a process and like motivation perspective is more conducive to success. But I want to talk about the season for Angel City, because when you mentioned that home opener, that June no goal should have counted. Like, I mean, that's under protest for as far as I'm concerned, but not the start that y'all wanted, but the turnaround, I mean, was, because I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest, from watching, I almost gave up on the team. I was like, because I would go every Sunday.
July-ish, he was like,
every Sunday.
Gave up on us?
Yeah,
He's a
almost,
season ticket holder.
No.
almost.
Let's blame him.
So I would go on
This is on
Sundays,
him.
and like I would just like, oh my, like, why, like, my Sunday, like, I want it to be relaxed.
We
you
were
know what I mean?
ruining your life.
No, he'll come back from
He's
Monday
like, why are you stressing
stressed
me out on
yeah.
a Sunday?
So
And
upset.
I would show up. But then I'm glad I stuck with it, because the turnaround was amazing to watch, and what was the vibes like in the locker room just as the season progressed, and once that turnaround started to happen, like, what were the biggest differences that you saw with the team?
Well, one thing I will say is that obviously this club is 2 years old.
Right.
And so when you come on to a new club, it's like a blank slate and you have to create a culture, and that takes time. And, you know, we've come so far in the 2 years, and I feel like we're in a really great place right now. But that kind of makes it sound like I'm like, wait, I'm a free agent. Can I say that?
I'm like, just tell him, like,
Cancel
clip
this all
that,
out.
cut that.
Yeah.
So they're in a really great place right now.
Right.
But
right.
the vibes over the season were, you know, obviously we had a coaching change, and that really picked us up because Becky just had a vision, and she had that energy, like that belief and that energy that just made us fight. And practices became more competitive. So, you know, what we were doing during the week, we were now doing at games. And so that was the turning point for us, clearly. I mean, you can see with our record. So there were ups and downs in the locker room. I mean, when you're losing games, that's when, like, all the bad stuff comes out. And then when you're winning games, a lot gets covered up. But I feel like it was, like, really great test of character, kind of being near last place and having to dig ourselves out of that. And so I feel like it just puts us in a great position, you know, the team in a great position going forward.
Yeah. When you face adversity, like, the character shows up, and I think that the fact that, because I mean, you could have been like me and just thought to give up on the season and be like, you know what, this is a wash. We got
It's a
next
good thing
season.
you're not on the team.
I know, right? It's a good. That's why. Maybe that's why. Yeah. That's why I'm talking about. Yeah. But the fact that you guys all stuck with it, and obviously Becky coming in, like, Becky ball, like, from the beginning, like that. The San Diego game was like, I was losing it. But that. Is there something specific that clicked, or was it more of just like a gradual thing that started from that first practice or that first game and grew?
I mean, I really think it was the coaching change that made everything click, because we felt like we didn't have an identity, and then suddenly we kind of were building one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would have loved to play more beautiful football throughout the course of the season. A lot of times it was a fight.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like a bar fight. Like, just get points. We can't lose. But we made it work. We got to the playoffs.
You did. Yeah, that's
definitely
true.
a lot of grit.
Right.
Especially those last 5-10 minutes of games, I feel. Whereas last year, I feel like we like let some of those games slip, but this year, you know, it was much more strong, and like we were able to fight some off.
Well,
like,
if you remember, there was the Portland game earlier in the season where we were winning, and then they tied it up.
The goalie.
Please.
Sorry. I don't mean to.
Don't bring back the memories.
But after that game, we watched back the last 10 minutes of the game on film, and they made us sit there, and they would like slow down clips, and then we went over how to close out a game.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was the thing that happened. I was like, this is great.
So I think maybe that, as hard as it was to watch, it probably kind of gave you all the motivation of like, we don't want to have to be in that position again.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
I wanted to go back a little bit. I wanted to ask you, like, what was your transition like going from Chicago to LA, both like for the team wise, but also just the, city and the vibes?
Are you from here?
I'm from LA, yeah.
Okay. I'm from Chicago.
Okay.
And I lived there for 29 years, went to college there, got drafted there.
Right.
And I'm a diehard Chicago girl. Like, I'm proud of where I'm from. It was really hard for me when I first moved here. I'm not even going to lie. And I don't know if it's because I tore my ACL and I was feeling bad for myself, but it was a big change. I'd never lived anywhere else but Chicago. And at first I hated it. I was like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
Like, I would cry
It's
at night.
hard.
It was so hard. And then, and like I said, I don't know if it's because of, my injury and living somewhere new.
Yeah.
But then as time went on, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I love it here. I think it's amazing, an amazing city. The culture here is amazing. The people are amazing. The food is amazing. And then I love that you can go to the beach or like be outside and go for hikes. And it just feels like everything I need at this point in my life. So to answer your question, it was hard at first, but now I love it. And then as far as the playing changes, I mean, we have the most amazing supporters in the league. Like, it's just every game.
Yeah.
The support is
They go
crazy.
hard.
Yes. And so I absolutely love that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, how was it for your son? Like, I know moving all the way to LA is different from Chicago, way warm, better weather. So, no knock on Chicago. But
I was
way
just in
better.
Chicago too.
Yeah.
First time, loved it, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was
So the
out.
weather must have been good then.
Oh, the weather was good. It wasn't too cold. I wore like a jacket, but I was able to take it off, so
Yeah.
it wasn't that crazy. But I want to go back because I was only there for like 2 days, but I had a great time. And the bean was under construction, so I have to go back.
You have to
I didn't
go
get
back.
to my pictures, my
Why
Instagram
do tourists
pictures.
love the beans?
I don't
The
know.
bean. I'm like,
I had to look through the fences of like it was literally under construction. I had to like move the little like cloth that it has
And
on
it
the
said, "Don't
fence.
touch."
It said don't touch here. I'm there like putting my hand in it. But overall, it was nice. Treated me well. I had some bomb hash browns from I forgot what coffee shop. It was super good. It was like a random coffee shop that I bumped into. Sorry. Back to the question.
Hijack
I know,
this
right?
question.
How was it for your son, especially because you're a player, but you're also a mother?
I feel like my son, he amazes me. Like, his transition was so smooth. So we were in Mid-City the first year. Now we live out in Calabasas, but we were in Mid-City and he went to the local school there, and it was a big change in so many different ways, a totally different culture than he's ever been around, and he did so well. Made friends immediately. The hardest thing for him was just learning a new style of schoolwork and trying to do things like that, but I'm just really proud of him because he just takes it like a G. He's so social, has friends immediately, girlfriends immediately.
You said he had 2 first weekend. I heard that pod. I'm like, all right.
Okay, Mr. Popular.
It's crazy
Respect.
because I was at home crying and my son's like, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. And I'm like, okay, cool.
You're like
good
still
for you.
working on it,
I have
trying to
no
figure out
Hey,
friends.
Mom, get it together. I'll be back.
Oh no, he was already like 2 steps ahead of you.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Popular over here.
That's awesome.
It's
His
because
girlfriend's first week. I'm like, this guy is the man. I'll bring him out sometime.
He has no girlfriend now.
There you
so I just did
go.
that.
Well, your options is LA.
Hey, he's working on himself.
Right, exactly. Growth.
Yeah.
That's
He
what
got
we
know
love to
himself
hear
before.
that. We
Yeah.
love to hear that.
Definitely. That was great when I heard like 2 girlfriends first week. I'm out here struggling trying to get one. Like, what are we talking about here?
It's because he's got that Chicago swag,
Yeah.
possibly. It's like something different, you know? Girls in LA are tired of LA men.
There we go.
The 8-year-olds in LA, man.
What can we say? They got more drama than us.
He hasn't cheated on nobody yet. He's good.
He's a loyal one.
I wanted to talk about Chicago, and this has nothing to do with soccer or anything, but
It's like,
I haven't had the pleasure yet of going to Chicago, but I was watching Home Alone the other day, and then
The
it made me
OG.
think of and it made me think of like all the John Hughes movies, which are set in like the Chicago suburbs, and like they all just look like Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, like both Home Alones.
Mean Girls.
Yeah, right. Is that in Chicago? Mean Girls?
Evanston.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And like I don't know if it's just like, is it really that picturesque and idyllic in those areas? Because like some of the neighborhoods just look like so, I don't know, like picturesque, you know?
Yeah, but that's like, okay, Home Alone and Mean Girls, those are like the northern suburbs, and they really do look like that.
Okay.
My house growing up didn't look like that. It was nice, but it didn't look like.
Yeah, right. Like
You didn't have Joe Pesci like driving up and down the
Joe
street.
Pesci.
Yeah.
That's why the ring cameras are out now.
well, it's
yes.
like
To
I would
answer your
say
question, yes.
maybe it's kind of like what people see of LA and like you know, the idea behind
The palm trees.
the
Right.
palm trees are just like the Hollywood Hills, and then sometimes things just don't really look as what they seem.
Yeah. But how did you like growing up in Chicago? And what was it like playing soccer growing up there?
So I grew up like right outside of the city, right by the airport in Elk Grove, and I mean, I think I liked it when I was a kid. I don't really
You're like, no
know.
complaints here.
But when I think back to like college and like, then at that time I loved being in the city, and I loved, you know, being able to like play soccer right under the L train, and I just like really started being proud of like where I was from. And now fast forward to now, I'm like, I'm from Chicago. Everyone needs to know it when I walk in a room.
Yeah. Is there a point in time where you remember like you like falling in love with the game and in Chicago?
You know, I feel like I didn't really fall in love with the game until like the end of my college career. I like always just did it because people were like, you're good at it. So I was like, okay, this is cool. But yeah, for sure. Like after I had my son in college is when I really can remember like playing under the train track and being like, I love it here and I love the game.
Yeah, and then getting a chance to stay in Chicago with the Red Stars must have been like a pretty welcome thing. You don't have to uproot your life, you know, especially with the kid. What was going through your head when you got drafted?
I was so excited, and I was really bad my rookie year, like really bad. Like every time I got the ball, I was so nervous. I was like, please just pass, don't pass to me. But I was so excited to like, I needed the support of my family at the time. My son was like 1.5. And like back then in the NWSL, we were hardly making any money.
Right.
So it was probably the only thing that would have worked for me. So thank God that I got drafted there. But I mean, it was always an honor to like be home and like play in front of friends and family, but then also like represent the people you know and love as well, like with Chicago across your chest. So that was always special.
Yeah, that kind of like hits different.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because you were the first player from DePaul to be drafted to play in NWSL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you were the first one of your school to join the NWSL, get drafted. So how do you feel now that you were that player that showed other DePaul players that you can make it in this league?
I mean, that's cool.
Whatever.
Sure,
I did it.
I did it.
Light work.
Try better.
What a terrible answer, Brian.
Hey, DePaul girl, y'all can make it too.
Y'all got it. You're good.
Go run in the snow.
You're in good hands.
DePaul's got some storied athletics, so it's a good basketball school. You know, a lot of NBA players have gone through there. So
Back in the day,
yeah.
DePaul, get it together.
I mean, it's true though. But with like the conference realignment and stuff, I feel like the Big East, because I think they were in the Big East when the Big East was like a thing. It's kind of shifted the powers and all that. But yeah, that's funny. That's a funny answer.
Trying to bring it back. Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, she's, you know, being honest here.
No,
so.
Yeah. No,
That's what we're looking for.
I take that any day rather than like a fake inspirational answer, which is sometimes
having conversation.
what you have to deal with, you know, on and you could tell, but yeah, that's good. So a lot of what we do on the pod is we talk about stuff outside of the lines, you know, music, art, fashion, and I know you're super big into fashion as well. How would you describe your style, and how important is that to you as a you know?
It's like an everyday person.
So I would describe my style as tomboy femme.
Okay.
Love that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, fashion style is really important to me. I love it. I know everyone says it's self-expression, and I feel like it is. It's like someone looks at you when you walk in, and it's the first thing they see is what you're wearing. And I love that you can, you know, be whoever you want to be with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like tomboy femme. Like I like menswear pieces, but I also like a little papa girly or like something flashy. And I take my style very seriously.
Yeah, I love that. What inspires like your fashion styles or your fashion looks?
I feel like I'm definitely inspired by community, everything around me, you know, what I see. So I feel like when I was in Chicago, it was definitely, my style was more sneaker, sporty. And now that I'm here, I feel like, or maybe it's just I'm getting older, I don't really know. But I feel like it's a little bit more chic than it used to be. But I'm inspired by, you know, people and trends and things that I see.
Yeah. What are like your go-to shoes or sneakers?
Right now, my go-to shoes are those platform Uggs. I wear them everywhere. I'm beating them up.
The Tasmania or the Taz? I don't know.
Like the brown, they're brown.
Yeah.
And they have like the
and they're
fat
like
bottom.
short?
Yes.
Oh my God, no way. I've been looking for them. They're sold out everywhere.
I love them.
I had some, but not the big platform, the smaller one.
Okay.
And they didn't fit. I'm usually a size 7 in Uggs. Size 7, and I got a 7, and it didn't fit. I just think that they're like a little bit tighter.
Yes, they are.
They
but they
are,
kind
right?
of loosen up.
I tried, didn't work out for me, so I had to return them. And I literally was at the store trying to return them, and everyone around me was just looking to see like what I was
vultures
in.
were circling it.
I swear to you, because right now at the UGG store, at least at the one in Citadel, they didn't get any for this current like time.
Oh no.
So everyone's looking for them. So
Girl, you need them.
yeah, I do need them. So.
She already has them.
She already has them. Sarah's like, I got them. I don't know about you.
Couldn't be
They
me.
are cute though. They
never.
are cute though, because you could like style them up, style them down, just wear them at home. Okay, those are good ones. Okay. I'm trying to be like you now.
And now I feel like, especially with Angel City, they do like the pregame runway and the does it get competitive? Like, do you feel like like you have
gotta
to show
think
up?
about it.
Yeah.
Bruh, we're a soccer team. Everything's competitive.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
we're always competing, even if no one says it.
I bet. What's like the behind the scenes to that though? Like, are you all chatting like, okay, do you know what you're wearing for the like the pink carpet? Is there like anything behind it?
Sometimes like with people you're closer with, maybe we'll be like, what are you wearing today? But you know we be going through each other's photos.
Yeah,
Like,
I bet.
I think my outfit ate more than hers.
Hey, she
like, I love
outfit repeater over here. She wore that.
She used that shirt last week.
That looks like she kind of got inspired by me. Right. That's cute though. It's cute, and I love that there's more of that, and we're like normalizing the fashion sense and the fashion styles in soccer, because I feel like it gives it more respect, kind of like respect in the sense of like it's not just an outside sport. It's a sport that involves so much culture, so much fashion, so much passion to it besides just what we see on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think you all definitely bring that.
And was it you that was talking about like she was talking about like she was inspired by me? Was it the bubble braid conversation? Was that you that was saying that you brought that to the league?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, founded the bubble braid.
Just a trendsetter across the board, whether it's DePaul,
without even trying.
the Uggs,
DePaul.
No, I didn't start the Uggs. My boyfriend calls the Uggs the Erewhon fit. He's like, every time I go into Erewhon, there's 10 women with Uggs on.
That's
a Calabasas conversation.
It's a trend going on. Oh my God, he's been trying to get onto the pink carpet.
Yeah,
so
he's been trying to be.
If you have a +1, let him know.
They won't let you on.
I mean, my credential doesn't give me that access.
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately. But he has his outfit ready. It's been ready since last year.
Yeah.
Well, if I sign with Angel City, we'll make sure you get on the pink
There you
carpet.
go. There you go.
That's the kind of.
But you have to send her your outfit first so she could approve,
so she gets
right?
approved.
Because you can't embarrass her
Now I'm
either.
kind of nervous because now that was like kind of like last year.
Last year, we gotta
you know
the
what I mean?
Uggs, you gotta get the
update
Uggs.
Yeah. I gotta update my. I'll go through Russell Westbrook's Instagram and I'll try to get
For
some.
inspo.
Yeah.
I'll wear the half shirt. You'll be good.
Oh, okay.
my
I gotta cut
Crop
the
top.
carbs. I gotta
If you
cut
wear
the
the
carbs.
crop,
for
you
that.
are not coming on the pink carpet.
Dang.
Take it out.
That's what I want to see him in.
He's just trying to get me in that.
Julio picked his outfit.
Anything embarrassing, I for him. That's the style I give him.
Oh my goodness.
I thought
Okay.
he was just trying to see me in a crop top.
Oh my
That's what I
God.
was trying to.
They have this like love energy that I just can't compete
Like a little
with.
bromance.
She's
Yeah,
jealous.
it's just so. Sometimes I just have to sit here and let it happen, and then sometimes I have to break it off because it gets too much.
Love is love.
Hey, that's
Love
right.
is love.
That's right. I know that's right. But continuing on the fashion train, I know you've worked with Klarna a lot, and what like there's some partnerships that just like work hand in hand. I feel like that's something that has for you, because as someone that puts a lot of emphasis in fashion, and what's it like having worked with them, and how has that upped your style game?
I love working with Klarna. Obviously, they're one of ACFC's founding partners,
Right.
which is awesome. But also, as someone who's constantly online shopping and like obsessed with style, I mean, just outside of being, with them, it's using, the way that they bring style together and the way that they support our team is just, it's awesome. And I feel like I've done, a bunch of collabs with them, and it's always A, fun to work with them, but B, like just easy for me to be on their site and their app and like figure out what I'm gonna wear. And so I'm like a big mood board girl, so I like everything in one place, and I feel like they make it easy for me.
I feel like Klarna is like girl math. Like it's accessible. You can buy it and eventually afford it. Like you get something for the price of what you pay for in that moment, and it feels like you're getting it for cheap. And eventually, like for every time you have to pay, you can wear it. Like, oh, today's the payment due date. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna put it on. We're gonna represent.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it works, and it works for me. So I'm gonna keep doing my thing with Klarna.
And I mean, the spots you've done with them, like you're getting Cassius into it too with this back to school fit.
Caden, yeah. Cassius is the other one on our team.
Ramsey.
That's embarrassing, bro.
Ramsey.
I had it in my head. That's so embarrassing. I apologize.
Caden.
You're so good.
Caden.
He's not going to talk to you.
I know.
Mr. Popular
now
doesn't
that,
approve of
yeah,
you.
There
I'm
it
still gonna
goes.
hang out with him.
There goes
like,
our friend. Yeah.
We're going to be
Little
with
baddies.
Caden.
They're gonna be hanging
out.
out. I'm gonna be on the side, just like.
you can't make it to his private table now. Like.
Yeah, I know.
Caden's going
I
to
know.
tell all his friends, like, yeah, Ramsey, he's not it.
Yeah.
Julio, he's the guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Got him. I'll be a great wingman. Like
there goes
whatever
my.
he wants,
Yeah.
I got him.
First impression out the window, But you've been able to get the whole family into it too. So I feel like that's something that's worked out too.
Yeah, my son, he doesn't. Well, maybe now that he's getting a little older, he does like what he's wearing. But I'm his stylist.
Okay.
And so that's why he looks so good.
Yeah. And he lets you allow him, like, he lets you buy his clothes and, put his fits together.
Well, he has no money, so he definitely lets you buy.
He has no other option. Because you know how
That's in
sometimes
my house, my business.
it gets to
You
a
do what I
point
do.
where some kids are just like, no, mom, like, you're not going to style me today. But he's all about it. Well,
No,
then
yeah,
again,
he's-
it's you. Like, you have all the swag, so that makes sense.
He lets me. Like, he's
Yeah.
not, I think he's at the age now, he's 9 now, where he, like, wants to look good and, like, have a little bit of
Presentable.
swag.
Yeah.
So he's totally into it.
Yeah, the first day of school fits must be looking good, huh?
Yes. And I did something with Klarna for like first day of school too.
Ooh, nice.
And so he got to pick out some stuff on the Klarna app, and he was super excited
Oh,
about it.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I definitely did not get to pick, but that sounds like goals.
I know. I had
Kid goals.
My mom gave me the comb over. I was like, Mom, no.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, my
bad.
mom, when I was younger, she would style me in uniform, like the schoolgirl uniforms, and we didn't even wear uniform at our school. But because she had just got here from Mexico, that's all she knew. So to every school she's put me in, like from elementary to middle school, I was wearing uniform, and no one was wearing
Every
uniform.
day?
Every day.
That's
And
kinda
then
cute,
she
though.
would like clip my lunch tickets to my uniform so I wouldn't lose. It was so embarrassing. So there I am in school, like braided in a plaid, the white collar t-shirt, a plaid like dress,
With the vest over
and
it.
the black shoes. Yeah, and everyone was just looking at me like, "What's going on with you?"
Hey, this is public. This is LUSD. You know.
Right? Like you don't even gotta come.
Does your son have equally as amount of shoes as you have? I know you said it was like around 150. Is he close to that?
No, he grows like a weed,
Right. Yeah.
and then he beats up shoes.
Oh,
So
doesn't even care.
he
I do
doesn't
the same
care.
thing.
That's
He's
the
really like a
worst.
white AF1 kind of guy, but we have like a few others for him to
Got
throw
it,
into
got
rotation.
it.
Yeah.
Do you
Give
guys
some
have
black Air
matching
Forces.
pairs
Yes. No, actually. He's Black Air
at
Forces.
this point?
His energy was gonna be wild.
What does energy
It
say?
changes up.
He
Like, why did
already
you get in the
has.
fight?
He's already Mr. Popular. Imagine with Black Air Forces. That's a whole nother.
He's gonna start a whole fight club in the back.
And Mr. Intimidating and Mr. Popular. And then for real, I have no chance.
He's definitely not gonna let you in.
I was thinking that I should get black AF1s and wear them on a game day.
Definitely.
Because he'd be like, oh, I'm choosing violence today.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You were
you
voted
might-
most likely to fight a stranger, so
That's messed up.
You're like, that's not me. But don't mess with me.
But Black Force is on.
Right.
Look at the fit.
You already know what time
kinda
it is
like-
when the Black Forces come
Hey,
out.
listen,
Yeah.
you could do something with it and style it up, do something that hasn't been done yet. I feel like there's something there.
There is something there.
Yeah,
It
you
needs
could
to
do
happen.
it. It's giving.
We'll see. Well, wherever you end up next season, the pregame fit, we'll see the Black Forces. We know what time it is and what's going to go down. So smash the under whenever she's coming through with the Black Air Forces.
Yeah.
But going back to on the pitch, and I want to talk Angel City a little more, but obviously the big news is the Gisele Thompson signing, and then having spent time with her training. What has it been like? Because there's been a lot of talk around, how good she is, and not a lot of people have seen her play unless they're watching the Youth World Cups. What is it like, and how exciting is it to have two of the youngest and most exciting players in the league with the team?
I'm really happy for Gisele. She absolutely deserves to be a professional. We've trained with her on and off for the past year. Obviously, I'm a center back and she's a right back, and so I've spent some time next to her on the field, and I think she's a really talented player. I feel like her ceiling is so incredibly high. She's a baller. She reads the game well. Her movement's amazing. Like, her defensive instincts are amazing. She's going to be an incredible professional, I have no doubt. And I'm really happy for her. Yeah. And her and Alyssa are like this, and so I think it's going to be a great year for both of them.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the videos of you guys in training, and like the warm-up videos where they're not even warming up, and y'all are doing your activation stuff. Has the age difference been super noticeable when it comes to not only like the warm-ups and stuff like that, but when you're out on the field together?
I mean, we're old, so we have a lot of activation things, and it takes us a little while to get warm. But no, I mean, I don't know how her body feels after a game. I only know how my body feels. But I feel like she's probably like, these girls are old and weird. And I'm like, we're the same.
What are you talking
We're
about?
sisters.
Right.
So let me actually not say anything.
You look like 2000 R&B? What?
Yeah. No, but workplace, and whatever workplace, whether it's a pro athlete or elsewhere, I feel like you become friends with the people, and it's a wide age gap, but it's kind of like I saw it was a red carpet photo of was it Jenna Ortega and Harrison Ford or someone, there's two actors, one super young and one really old, and they're hanging out on the red carpet talking, and it's this is every workplace friendship, because the age gap is so different, so it's cool to see that it spans across different fields and
No, that's so true. I mean, we're all friends, and sometimes I forget that Alyssa's 18 until she's like, yeah, I'm going to my graduation party tonight. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, you're 18.
I forgot.
What you said is true.
We don't do house parties no more. Come on. We stopped that already.
Once it comes down to the off the pitch things, then you realize where everyone's at, huh?
Exactly,
a little bit.
yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
But that back line is sturdy. I mean, you, Paige, MA, Allie, Jasmine, and now Gisele coming in. I feel like that's strong. One of the strong points of the team.
If you come back.
Right. I mean, we keep
Allegedly.
yeah.
If you come back. I got you.
But I mean, yeah, right. But I'm talking about what has already been set in stone and what's already factual. That was one of the strongest points of the team last year, and I feel like closing out games, you kind of saw that step up, where it was maybe a little frenetic, maybe not as pretty, like you said, but it worked, right? And so what was it playing on that back line with all those talented players?
It was great. I felt like in the beginning of the season, there were a lot of elementary things that we were doing wrong, and we had to kind of go back to the basics. And I remember one practice, they had us hold a string. Maybe it was a rope. So when we shifted, we would all shift together, and I was like, this is really embarrassing. Yeah. I hope no one
What are
can
we
see
doing?
this. But we had to go back and review the basics, and we got it together, and we ended up being a pretty strong back line. There's still lots of things we can clean up. We didn't have near enough shutouts, something that needs to be fixed, but it was a good time.
Yeah, you got to strike that from the documentary, the behind the scenes stuff, those drills, right? Yeah, you gotta have some. You gotta go into the editing room and like, yo, you cannot put that in there.
There's no cameras today, guys.
Yeah.
Please, nothing. Let's not talk about it.
Go ahead.
No, but what about I'm trying to get more in the music side. Like, what is your playlist? What are the music inside the locker room? Who controls that playlist?
Paige controls the playlist, and we all make a lot of requests, probably too many. But I mean, I'm a hip hop girl, so that's what I like to listen to, especially before a game. Like I need something like aggressive and disrespectful and
Black
just
Force energy.
What's your
Black Force
go-to?
energy.
Yeah.
There you go.
exactly.
What's like your go-to artist?
I love. Let me not say Drake. That's so embarrassing.
You said aggressive.
Lil Baby.
Right.
Okay. Hold on. Let me redeem myself. Lil Baby, Young Doll.
Okay.
All right.
That
All right,
is,
that's
yeah.
fine.
That's
That's
definitely the
All right,
vibe, yeah.
Dolph.
It's pretty aggressive.
Dolph is like music to deadlift to, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lil
Drake-
Baby has,
I mean, Drake's got some aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
it depends on what album like you're listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got he's got like Marvin's Room and then Lord Knows on the same album.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean?
True.
Like, so like he's
And
got
Marvin's Room is fire. Though.
Fire. One of the greatest.
It is. It's a great song.
That's like one of his like top play. Like he won't show his Spotify Rap because that's like number 2 played on it. He won't. He keeps
Every
that close
year.
To his, yeah.
Around this time, I just call it Random Acts.
What about like currently? Do you have what are your like top 2, top 3 artists or like music that you're like currently on repeat?
You say Drake.
No, disgusting.
Don't put me
Definitely
there.
Thames. I love
Okay.
her.
Oh, there we go.
Thames
And
is
you know,
fire.
like you need a break from the hardcore
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
You need to like
Right.
zen out.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she's
yeah.
been like my off-season vibes.
That's good. That's a good one. I like that. And what about like what are your go-to songs or like playlists with your son?
Well, he's into Marshmello.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, and
That's a
Doja
vibe.
Cat.
Okay.
That's his vibe.
Okay, Doja Cat and Marshmello. That's a good one.
That's-
Maybe
yeah,
that's a
talk about
collab we didn't
range.
know
Talk
we
about-
needed.
Yeah.
It's a collab we didn't know we needed, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like that's reasonable. Like I
It
feel like
could
we could
be.
see that in the next, like a Doja Cat Marshmallow track or
Yeah.
remix or
Can
something.
you guys make it happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can make.
I'll send an email.
Yeah.
I'll see what happens.
Julio's got
We'll
some.
follow
yeah,
up.
Yeah. He needs to. Yeah, he's been following up for a while, trying to make collabs happen. So
Definitely. My email is broken, I think, because I haven't got any replies, but I think we're fixing it with Google right now. We'll see what happens.
Trying to make sure it doesn't get sent to spam.
yeah, I think that might be what it is.
Yeah, because I'm
but-
Julio. Like,
Yeah,
who doesn't
it's-
want to reply to me?
It's an IT thing. You gotta
Oh
talk
my
to.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing the conversation off the pitch, I know that you have you started your own like nonprofit for youth, HoodSpace, right? What sparked or inspired that for you?
Okay, so HoodSpace is all about bringing yoga and meditation and just methods of mindfulness to Black and brown girls. And I started it back in 2020 in Chicago. And yoga and meditation, breath work have been huge parts of like mental clarity for me and like just releasing a lot of things I've been through and making space for myself. And I just feel like those resources should be more prominent in Black and brown communities. And I felt like as a mixed girl, I'm privileged to have those resources, and as a professional athlete I'm privileged to have access to everything, and I just wanted to use my access and the privileges I have and kind of give back.
Yeah.
And I started in Chicago, and then we've thrown 2 clinics out here in LA too.
Nice. I love that. I think there's a lot that we don't like verbally put out there that intersects with sports and the need behind mental health, and we're doing more of it now. It's becoming more normalized, and a lot of it is because of players and athletes like you. But I feel like yoga and breath work and meditation go a long way for a sport, for like an athlete, especially any type of sport. Like it helps you kind of like focus and stay motivated going into a game or even after a game, because it's a lot of it's a lot to take in mentally, physically. So I love that you're doing that, especially for youth, because a lot of times they don't get to see that interconnectedness. But having spaces like that can kind of help them start practicing that and normalize it in their day-to-day.
Exactly, because it's like if you're an athlete or not, these things are so beneficial. They help you show up as your best self, and so that's just the goal. Like if you quit soccer, you know, if you quit playing a sport as a young girl, fine, but hopefully, you know, you still have space in your life for your feelings and whatever you're going through.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's a great mix of like clearing out your head and while also staying active and, you know, getting that physical activity, which is something that I think all sports kind of, you know, like you see like people use it as like a stress reliever and all that. So I think maybe putting a little bit more into like the mindfulness that goes into that will help out too. And I think that's something that's like Bridget said has been spreading across all throughout sporting, whether it's in sports or out of sports. So you know, we love when athletes have these nonprofit, like we had Jeremy Bobasay last week, and he was talking about some of the stuff that he's doing in his community. So we love it when, you know, people are involved in their community while they're playing, whether like it was in Chicago or in LA. So it's cool that you're able to kind of tap in with, you know, the city that you're currently living in. Yeah.
So wish I had that when I was younger.
Definitely, because I tried to do yoga and I would do it all wrong. The lady had to come back. You know, you gotta modify your pose. Like,
and
not
he
again.
gets all embarrassed.
Yeah,
too.
you get embarrassed. I was like, man, I gotta be more flexible.
I think especially like even as like a person of color, like you don't associate yourself at least for me as a Latina, I never associated yoga as an exercise that I could do. Like it didn't click for me or my community or my people because there's no access to yoga. Or like I think of yoga, or I tell my mom about yoga and she's like expensive and it's probably in English.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like think of like yoga clothes, like the concept of buying these $100 yoga pants.
Yeah.
Like, it's all so ridiculous. Like in the Eastern world, there's none of this in yoga. It's about being with your body and like breathing through difficult poses and learning about yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, definitely give credit to all the instructors that do yoga, but also it's like something that you do for your body with your body. You don't need anything except the right tools, but we just don't have access to it. So giving those opportunities to kids, especially kids of color at a young age, it could do so much. It could do so much for them, whether, like you said, whether they play sports or they're in school or they're struggling with family things. Like breath work makes a huge difference. So absolutely. I love that, and I hope we get to see more of that out here in LA for you, and also obviously in Chicago. Maybe if you do have a future event, we'll be out there and we'll do some breath work with you, some yoga with the kids,
some box breathing.
Yeah, I'll do my modified poses. Like,
we'll get you some blocks.
I need the blocks. I'm gonna need the
blocks. And a gallon of water.
Yeah. My face.
Don't pay attention.
Don't pay attention to my face.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. I'm gonna need a little corner that is dark.
So Sarah, what are you currently working on? What's next for you? I know the off season is kicking in. It's grind mode time. What do you got going on as you prepare for 2024?
Well, like you said, it's really grind mode time at this point. We only have like a month left until preseason, which is crazy because I'm like, where did the time go? But so yeah, everything has just been about soccer at this point, and like that delicate balance of taking care of myself, getting rest, doing yoga, like doing these things, but also training enough because I still have goals I want to meet as an athlete, and I still feel like I haven't hit my ceiling as a soccer player, and so that's still, you know, what I'm trying to achieve. So just a lot of workouts, guys. I'm tired.
Hey, the grind don't stop.
It don't. They didn't lie.
Yeah, she still finds time to, you know, come through and chop it up with us, which we really appreciate.
Thanks, guys, for waiting for me. I know. You're like, when are you coming on the show?
We're very patient here, so don't worry about it.
We had this other player, Messi, wanted to come. We're like, no,
not
bring
Messi.
Sarah. Messi can wait.
What was his name? Lionel? I don't remember.
Lionel?
But yeah, Lionel.
Possibly?
Yeah,
Whatever
whatever
that guy is.
Yeah.
We're happy we brought you there.
Yeah. But Sarah, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. Anything else that you guys wanted to get through before?
No, just best of luck in 2024 with everything, and I hope that, you know, more success, more blessings, more achievements come your way.
Thank
more
you.
life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
too.
Thank you.
And before you left college, they asked you a question. One of the little interviews that you did, it was what do you basically they asked you what question would you ask yourself, and it was what would you do? Why do you do what you do? Has a reason changed from then to now?
That's so funny because I can see the image of that little me in my mind. What was my answer then?
Your son.
Yeah.
What's his name?
What's his name?
I don't know. I'm never gonna live that down, man. I'm gonna
You're
be
not.
I'm gonna be like driving, and then I'm gonna that moment's gonna come to my head. I'm
Damn.
like, oh my god. I
When
can't
you
believe I
tell
said
Mal,
that.
she's probably gonna be super disappointed in you.
I mean, she can't be more disappointed than I am at myself already. So I kind of
answer, though.
We're
Yeah.
disappointed in you.
yeah.
You're the one that does all the homework. We don't.
I mean, it's just like you know.
I'm so offended too.
Yeah, how dare you?
I'm never gonna recover from
I'm
it.
kidding.
I probably might have to retire from this, and I might have to walk away and enter
A 1 week
field.
suspension.
Yeah,
Draymond
yeah.
Green, you gotta work.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay, so back to your son.
So yeah, your answer was your son.
yeah.
Kind of important.
My answer to that would be, I love that I have. Okay, wait. Let me rewind. I always have thought it's so important to live a passionate life where I'm, following my passions and doing the things that I want to do, and I feel like I was put on this earth to do, because I feel like that is the best way to show him that life. But also, as someone who's grown so much in the past, I was probably 10 years ago. Was it? Maybe 9. I don't know. I would say that I do so much for him, and I want him to be happy and all of the things that a mom should say, but also I don't necessarily play soccer because of him or anything like that, because I feel like I'm in a place where I do it because it's fulfilling, and I'm so glad that I can show him that. If that answers that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a great answer.
That's a great
That
answer.
was a great
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great place. It's like a mic drop moment too, So, but actually, don't.
Don't
do
drop
that.
the mic.
Roy, yeah, Roy,
Roy will get mad. Roy will
yeah,
get mad.
Roy will
Like,
not.
just
Yeah. But Sarah, thank you again so much for taking the time to come talk to us. This has been a lot of fun. I know you're super busy, but we really appreciate you, and we'll be paying attention to you wherever you're at next season, and we'll be rooting for you. But thank you so much. For Sarah Gorden, Julio Monterosa, Bridget Flores, I'm Ramsey Abushala. This has been the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life. Keep it tapped in. We got more things coming in the new year.
New year,
but
new
until
me.
then,
I'm just kidding.
New year, old me.
Yeah, same, yeah. But until then, we're out.
Bye.
Boom.